Good morning, friends, and welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'm here to share your daily aspects. Today is Thursday, March 24, 2022. And the sun is in Aries, highlighting in our conscious lives this sense of initiative and vitality. We feel a lot of inspired drive and forward motion at this time with all of the new beginnings and the springing to life out in the natural world. Chiron is also transiting Aries at this time, and this is like putting a spotlight on any solutions we're seeking in regards to our personal identities and our sense of belonging in the world. The moon begins in Sagittarius today, making ingress to Capricorn early this evening. This represents a shift in the personal life focus from an adventurous spirit to a spirit that embodies a hard work and determination. And the first quarter phase of this moon is a moment of transition where we finish up looking back on how things have gone and begin to release our stuff and our thoughts, dispositions, and attitudes that no longer serve a positive purpose in our lives. If it doesn't help us to meet our goals, it's got to go. I'm going to get right into the aspects, but I want to remind you all that there's a key on the right-hand side of the page. Most of the symbols on the page have made it into the key, so you have a point of reference here if you need one. Otherwise, I will discuss all of the symbols with you as they come up. And I've divided the page into two columns, one for each of our luminaries. Now, the moon is the luminary that sheds light on our inner lives. This is about our relationship with ourselves, how it feels to be in our body, heart, and mind, and the person we are when we're at home, our personal life. The aspects on this side are very brief, and they have a subtle influence on those things we think, feel, know, and intuit, but might not ever choose to express. And the sun is the luminary that sheds light on our outer lives. This is more about the part of us that interacts with the rest of the world, who we are and how we respond in our work, social, and civic spaces. I address the sun's and the rest of the planet's aspects on this side because they have more to do with how we show up in the outer life. They also tend to be longer than those lunar aspects. We start on the moon side of the page today at 2:08 a.m. Central Standard Time, friends. The moon makes a sextile aspect with Saturn. Now, moon and Saturn in aspect together will have us feeling some sort of way about our sense of structure, security, and responsibility. And the sextile aspect is a positive, cooperative vibration. It helps us generate a positive outcome, like planting a little security seed just to watch it grow. Moon sextile Saturn invites us to take positive action toward our future sense of stability. Next, at 5:30 a.m., the moon makes a square aspect with Neptune, indicating heightened personal sensitivity to the vibes of the people around us. The square aspect vibration presents the potential for challenges to arise, so don't take every seeming intuitive understanding as reality. It could be really easy to deceive ourselves at this time. And then at 7:59 a.m., that's a funny 7 there, a void of course moon runs square with Mercury, our planet for the intellect. Our ability to plan at this time is a bit suspect. We may be misinformed and we can expect changes to come up. The challenge here is to avoid being rigid in the face of changing circumstances. And then the moon makes ingress to Capricorn at 4:54 p.m. Our void of course period here is about 8 hours long. Void of course is always a good time to turn toward our intuitive and creative practices. We're relatively uninfluenced by any sign energy for our inner lives in these hours, which can help us with internal queries and getting clear answers to our questions. So intuitive and creative practices are encouraged here. You know, your journaling, your reading, your writing, your tarot, I Ching, whatever it is, meditation that you engage in to have those conversations with yourself. And then the moon will be in Capricorn for 2.5 days. These are all 2-hour aspects, by the way. The moon will be in Capricorn for 2.5 days, and the moon in Capricorn asks us to put our head down and get to work, specifically on anything that builds our personal resources and our sense of security for the long term. So we have that coming back. See, Saturn rules Capricorn. So we started off early this morning with having our security on our mind and having an impulse to take action. I know that's really early in the morning, so it's possible we were asleep at that time. These are really subtle ambient energies that affect our thoughts, feelings, and intuitions. Friends, I want to point out this beautiful thing about the aspects. You know, though they may occur to each of us differently, they apply to us all. This is simply a representation of things that can be observed in the skies for today. However, depending on the planets that are in the aspects, they may have a bigger impact on people who are heavily influenced by certain planets or signs. And I've received some guidance to perhaps call out the signs that may be feeling the most affected by the aspects as they're coming up. So I'm going to attempt to clue you in as to whether you're one of the signs that may be emphasized or indicated in the workings of these sun side aspects as we go along. And with that said, they still apply to us all. Each of our birth charts has something to do with all of the planets and all of the signs, and I encourage you to keep it in mind and to give consideration as to how these energies may be showing up in your life. On the sun side of the page today, in the ongoing column, we have something of a Venus and Mars post-conjunct party. Venus and Mars were conjunct for pretty much the whole Sun in Pisces transit. And now that Venus has pulled ahead of Mars, we will find these divine love bugs making similar aspects and transits with slightly different timing. As is the case here with Venus square Uranus and Venus sextile Chiron, and then Mars square Uranus and Mars sextile Chiron. So Libra, Taurus, and Aquarius. Venus square Uranus tells us that we may have challenges with receptivity and impulsiveness. So perhaps there's something that feels out of balance. We feel we aren't getting the respect, the attention or affection or compensation that we deserve, and we begin impulsively to grasp at temporary solutions for feeling fulfilled, only to find that they don't fulfill over the long term. Venus is still in Aquarius with Saturn right now, and so very interested in attracting things that increase, again, that sense of security. Venus sextile Chiron comes in with a cooperative opportunity to find solutions to our perceived state of lack. It will be important for us to be honest with ourselves about our reasons for calling in stuff that doesn't promote our sense of security, and to be willing to turn off the attractor beam when we realize we don't have to do all this extra stuff to feel fulfilled. And then here we are with Aquarius and Mars and Scorpio here. Mars square Uranus tells us that we may have challenges with assertiveness and impulsiveness. So perhaps there's something that appears to be taking too long or requiring too much process. We feel our initiative is being thwarted in some way, and we can become agitated and even pushy about being free to exercise that initiative. But hurrying will often mess up our results. Some processes take just as long as they take, and being irritable or impatient about it only creates problems in addition to opportunities to practice further patience. Mars sextile Chiron comes in with a cooperative opportunity to find solutions to our perceived holdup. It will be important for us to be honest with ourselves at this time about our reasons for wanting to rush something that takes time. In both of these cases, we struggle with impulsiveness and we seek to solve the problem with self-reflection. Healing is available. It also helps to remember the agreements that we've made with ourselves and our partners. Remember all of this Venus conjunct Mars partnership goals that we went through for like 4 weeks. Those agreements will have been predicated on the idea that we will have what we need if we maintain our commitments. All right, and then coming into Mercury conjunct Neptune, I want to call out our friends Virgo and Gemini and Pisces. We are on day 2 of 2 for Mercury conjunct Neptune. I'm interested to hear if any of you made any discoveries or experienced any epiphanies or downloads of information from spirit or the human collective. Conjunct energy amplifies our intellect and our sense of connection, leaving us wide open for new understandings to come in. And this, for me, relates back to this 8 hours void of course that we have, where we can reflect and have conversations with ourselves about what's coming in. Again, not everything that glitters is gold, not everything that inspires us or everything that we intuit is going to be true or a positive method for going forward. So it's going to be important to practice some discernment regarding all the information that's coming in with Mercury conjunct Neptune. And then Scorpio and Aries, especially. Sun sextile Pluto right now. We are on the last day of the Sun sextile with Pluto here, a time of added focus and power that has boosted our initiative as we enter the spring season. If you felt yourself lifted and pushed along with the ambient momentum of vibes, you wouldn't be alone. This is an opportunity to rein in any impulsive or compulsive energies to work for you to meet your objectives. And again, that sextile is a very cooperative, positive vibration. So as long as you're working with the energies are going to work for you. And then last on the Sun side of the page, we have for Aries and Scorpio as well. No, for Aries and Sagittarius, Sun square the Moon. So that's today at 12:37 actually a.m., so tomorrow morning, Friday morning. This indicates the culmination of this third quarter moon in Capricorn. Symbolically, Sun square Moon shows us that there can be challenges between our outer and inner lives. Not the best alignment for ideal personal functioning, but challenges put us in motion, keep us in problem solving mode, so it's all to our benefit. And then coming up tomorrow, Mercury will make a sextile with Pluto before it leaves Pisces and enters Aries on Sunday. That very much applies to Virgo, Gemini, and Scorpio especially. And we will see a new moon in Aries next Thursday. Perfect assertive energy for making that fresh start in our creative process that comes up there. So that's what we have on the page for aspects today. I appreciate you all for being here. Please give me a comment. Let me know what you think about the sign callouts there. And if anything comes up for you, if you seek clarity on anything that I've said today, definitely leave a comment in the section below and I will see it and I'll respond to it. At this point, I'm in the habit of moving over to our tarot. While we're in this transition moment, though, I'm going to ask you also to like my video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications bell. I post here every day and I wouldn't want you to miss a thing. Now I'm going to switch into tarot. We're going to talk a little bit about the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, and then I'm going to mix up the cards and throw a tarot card to hopefully cover the energies for today. And the tarot card that sits on the side of the page right now is the Two of Wands. And it's Wands because Wands represent fire, and we are in the first 10 days of the Sun's transit through Aries, a fire sign. So beginning of the Aries, the Sun's transit through Aries, the beginning of the Wands in Tarot. The Two of Wands really represents discovery and planning. And it's this time of transformation, transition, where we are literally creating progress out of our ideas. So putting our visions, our designs, our plans into motion, making them be something that is happening in the world. Okay, so taking forward motion, taking our ideas and putting them into forward motion. And there's this great quote from Labyrinthos about this card that says, this person beholds the material in which he can make his designs come true. So in this picture, this adventurous figure who is planning a big future for themselves holds a globe in their hand. So they're really just like looking at what it is that they have in terms of resources, what is in the world in terms of resources that they can use to bring into their plans and help them have success and forward motion in their lives. This is a really beautiful time of fresh starts, new beginnings, and really watching again your intentions and your goals begin to come into fruition. And especially with that new moon in Aries also coming up, we'll have the sun in Aries and the new moon in Aries in a week. And that'll be really just a beautiful time to be setting those new intentions, making those plans, setting those goals so that we can put the ideas we have in motion. And now I'm going to mix up my cards a little while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Aries, as is the asteroid Chiron. So this is very much a spotlight on just the beginnings, the fresh beginnings, the new start, the springtime, initiative, forward motion, this drive, this impulse to move forward, especially on our fondest desires. And then Chiron in Aries is really about our personal identity and our sense of belonging in the world and our ability to heal that. So really we've got a spotlight right now on healing our sense of identity and belonging in the world. And then the moon is at its third quarter today, so actually very early tomorrow morning, but we're there. So we can begin to switch from, looking back on how things went and especially noticing how we would not like things to go in the future. And then, begin to let go or release any outdated thoughts, opinions, attitudes, dispositions, and stuff that is cluttering up our lives and is no longer of any use to us. So we can just release it, donate it, let it go, push it out the door, and push it out of your hearts and minds as well. Venus square Uranus and Venus sextile Chiron, Mars square Uranus and Mars sextile Chiron. We're really struggling with impulsiveness, and we really have to reflect and work on healing that sense of impulsiveness. Some self-mastery here, a bit of self-control, and remembering what our goals are, what our commitments are, what promises we've made, and just doing what we said we would do instead of being impulsive and going after things that are not in alignment with the goals we have set for ourselves and with other people. And then Mercury conjunct Neptune, very amplified intellect and connection to spirit. So there's a lot of information that's coming in. It might be inspired information, it's creative information, it's colorful information. It's not all true, okay? Some of it is useful in helping us move forward with our plans, and some of it is less useful. So we have to practice some discernment when it comes to that. And we'll get that with Mercury sextile Pluto over here. It's going to ask us to practice discernment with the inspired information we're using to move forward on our plans. And then Sun sextile Pluto, our focus and power are boosted at this time when the sun just came into Aries. So we've got this extra surge of power to move forward and to focus on our initiative and our plans. And then Sun square Moon, not the best alignment for moving forward, not like we're necessarily feeling fully aligned within ourselves. There might be some challenges between our outer lives and our inner lives, but challenges keep us moving. Challenges give us reason to stop, consider the situation, solve the problem, and get on with it. On the moon side of the page, we have, some positive stuff and some slightly challenging stuff. Don't believe everything you intuit or feel, and remain flexible as the plans change today, because that's very likely with that moon square Mercury. But moon moves into Capricorn, and it's a great time to get to work. Aries is exalted in Capricorn. So Aries and Capricorn together is very much like a hard work mode. Aries likes to show strength. Aries likes to show its work. And Aries likes to make conquests and have achievements under their belt so that they can say, look what I did, right? Okay, and so with all of that said, I'm going to throw this card. And we have the Hanged Man today. So again, this really comes back to me, this is a matter of gaining perspective. And maybe a little bit of a holdup, maybe having to take a pause and look around and see what's really going on. So we're not just acting on impulse and instinct, okay? We're not just acting to get things because we can. We're not acting to, on initiative just to do what we can. We have goals in mind and we want to be considerate about how we're reaching them, okay? We don't want to waste a lot of energy. We don't want to waste a lot of time, ours or anybody else's, okay? We want to be very discerning about the instincts and impulses that are coming to us, the intuitive impulses that are coming to us. Some of them are true and some of them are less true. Some of them are going to work for us and some are not. So, take a pause when you have an intuition, when you have a hunch, or you have an impulsiveness to grab at something or an impulsiveness to pursue after something. Stop, collaborate, and listen, right? Listen to your inner voice that tells you what the plans are. Listen to that inner voice that tells you what will make me feel most secure at the end of the day, okay? Those are the things that we want to pursue. And sometimes when we're in this very impulsive forward motion vibe, we're in this discovery vibe, and we just want to be turning all of our plans into action, turning all of our best ideas into action. Sometimes we waste a little bit of time and energy, like moving forward on things that are not really startable or movable. So, stop, take some time to consider what you're doing. Remember your plan, remember your goal, remember your commitments and the promises you have made, and move forward with that sense of security in mind. I believe that's all I have to say about that today, friends. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate you all for showing up every day the way you do. My name is Mel Rose, and I will see you all back here tomorrow for more astrology today.